Hello, beautiful Taurus family. Wow. I hope that you have been having a great January and February. Looks like there's been a lot going on for you. And I am here to do your monthly reading, your spiritual guidance reading for the month of March 2019. I should tell you my name. I'm Iris Siriani. And I read these cards intuitively so that I can deliver you messages that are for your highest good and will help you move forward on your path. And having said that, this reading isn't going to resonate with everybody, and that is okay. So take what you want from it and leave the rest. What doesn't apply to you is not for you. So let's get started. I have pre-shuffled the cards and I have meditated on you in terms of the cards. And in the interest of saving time, I have already pulled the three overarching energy cards for this month of March. And actually, there are 4 cards that came out for you. And for you, Taurus, I am already getting the sense that you are going through a rebirth and going through a lot of changes. And I think that your reading is starting off as one from being around relationships. Now, this can be a romantic relationship, or this could be a friendship or a partnership or a business partnership. But let's go through the energy of this card. You've gotten all that glitters, and all that glitters is talking about seeing things through a shiny lens. And what I mean by that is sometimes we look at things and we think, oh, that would be really exciting, and oh, that person has it all, or if I do that, then I'm going to acquire all of those riches. But there's something underneath that if you stripped away all of the fancy, if you took off the filters and all of the presentation on what it looks like on the outside, what do you find underneath that all? Is it still as glamorous and ideal, or is it even anything that you would still want? Because, and I'm getting social media here is coming up right away. So oftentimes what happens is we'll get looking at social media. If we're in a low place in our life, or even if we're having a low day, and this happens to me as well. So you go on social media, and social media, people present the best. There's so many different filters that can be applied, and people show all of the great things that are going on in their life. And then we look at that and we start to compare ourselves and go, well, I'm not like that, or I don't have that family life the same way that these people do, and I don't have that type of relationship, and I'm not at that place in my business yet. And then we become very down about ourselves through that comparison mode. So, the glitz and glam is being presented for us, but we don't know what's behind all of that glitz and glam, and even what it took to get to that place. And that place that is being presented to you probably is a real thing, but it took work to get to that place. And so when we compare ourselves in that way, we're actually doing ourselves a big injustice. And sometimes what we perceive to be the jackpot, it might be a jackpot for somebody else, but it might not be a jackpot for you. So that's what all that glitters is. The next is the regeneration card. And this is the part where I see that you're going through a regeneration process. Just like as in life, things bloom and then things die off. That is the natural cycle of life. And this is what is happening with you. There is this old piece that has been burning away and dying off. And then there's new growth that is starting to come up. And you know, this tree isn't in full bloom, but you can definitely see that there are new leaves on this tree, and there's green and lusciousness and vivaciousness, and new buds are growing. And so I think that you're really in a time of regeneration and rebirth, and I think that this has to do with people in your life, and it could be a relationship, it could be a friendship, and something has been going on that is causing you this. And here we have message in a bottle that is reverse, and the reversals, they're not a bad thing at all. They just are giving you a different perspective on things that are going on in your life. Now, if it were like this is like, you know, a message that's coming in very quickly for you, a sign or some kind of indication. But when it's reversed like this, it's like you're kind of ignoring the warning signs or ignoring the lessons, but you're not receiving the message as it's intended. And beside that, now this is the fourth card, and usually there's just 3 cards that come out, but there is 4 cards that came out for you, and soulmates has come out for you as well. And of course, normally it's like this, but now it's like this. So the thing about soulmates is that soulmates aren't necessarily a romantic relationship. Soulmates could be anybody who comes into your life who is teaching you something. And in fact, any encounter that you have in your life with people who push your buttons, who make you feel good about yourself, who show you the utter worst of yourself, they are all a form of a soulmate, and they are there to teach you something. And we don't always want to hear the messages that they are delivering, because I mean, let's face it, sometimes the messages are bloody painful to hear, because it forces us to take a look at ourselves and change the things that we need to change in ourselves so that we can grow and move to the next level in our life. And that's why you're in this regeneration process, which is really a beautiful thing. But I do acknowledge that growth at times can be very, very painful. And not to be dissuaded by what you think is being painted out there as being a big rosy picture about what everybody else has in terms of success or relationships or even career. It could be even career success, right? We get caught up in this comparing ourselves mode, and it can just make us feel really bad. But if we can step back and acknowledge that we are on our own path and other people are on their own paths and they are having their own experiences and their own lessons that they learn and new opportunities, then we've put the focus back only on what we need to focus on in terms of our own spiritual growth and where we want to direct our lives and the types of relationships that we want to have in our lives. Tony Robbins says, life doesn't happen to you, it happens for you. And if we could take the lessons from the experiences that we've had in our lives and then use it to our advantage, or to help us move us forward, it actually helps us move forward. But again, acknowledging that, sometimes the growth can be really painful. Okay, so I'm going to go to my Fairy Tarot deck here and get some more information that is going, that is how many? We'll take those 3. Okay, so what's come up is the 9 of Summer. That is your wishes coming true, dreams fulfilled. We have the Queen of Winter, which talks about letting go of stuff that doesn't work for you, being the king or queen in your own life instead of letting other people run your life. Holy cow, you've got king and queens in your reading. And the King of Autumn is about being in charge of your life and being assertive about what it is that you want for yourself. And I love that. I love that for you, Taurus. Love that for you, because this whole next row, as you're on this growth and regenerating new life, hope you can see this, new life, and allowing things to blossom. Like when you focus on, when you are sure and assertive about creating your life and what is next for you, and not being afraid to take the learning opportunities that you had. So if you encountered people who have really rattled your cage, you know, and pushed your buttons, if you've let go of a relationship recently, because it just was just not satisfying and fulfilling for you. And I do actually feel like this does have to do with the relationship. You know, when you let that influence leave your life here, and you are sure about what it is that you want and you have that confidence, you create wish fulfillment in your life. And it's interesting, you know, usually I would see these strong cards come out as the outcome, but they're coming up in the middle section, which leads me to believe that you've already done a lot of the growth and the inner work and learning the lessons, and perhaps these two here have already turned upright for you. You have learned, you've received the message from this loud and clear. And keep in mind, again, this doesn't have to be a romantic relationship. It can be, you know, a business relationship and maybe a business went sour, and you've learned a lesson. You've identified something and you realize, you know what, I'm just not going to enter in that type of situation, or I am going to be more responsible and actually take active presence in the accounting and the money piece of it, and knowing what's going on. So maybe you were ripped off financially over something. That's just coming up now all of a sudden as well. Maybe you were ripped off financially in a business because you placed a lot of responsibility on people who didn't necessarily have your back, and said, yeah, you know, I've got this, don't worry about that, we'll just focus on this part of the thing, and then that person can focus on that part of the thing, and the whole thing went sideways. That kind of stuff happens in business, but there's also a learning opportunity that, okay, you know what, I need to find people that I trust, and I need to make sure that I know at all times what's going on in my business. And I'm not sure why that came up all of a sudden. Maybe that's a very specific message for a few of you that are going through this, but whatever it is about relationships. And I feel that there's been significant progress already, because these cards here are all in your middle of what's going on now. So in terms of moving forward and supporting you in this process, let's see what further words of encouragement and next steps are for you. What are the next steps? I think you've also, you know, let go of things that need to be let go of, and people, you know, removing people from your life, or putting distance between you. Sometimes we can't remove them entirely, you know, because they're family members, but, you know, having a boundary and limiting the amount of exposure. that you have to them, so that you can move forward in your life. And that's a really awesome thing. Okay, let's just focus in on these cards here. Ooh, and there they are, 3 of them right here. Funny, they all 3 came out together. Okay, so this is the what you need to do next to keep moving forward. So this is a card of patience and, sitting back and being contemplative, not being, too stressed out, not being in a hurry, but, just taking your time and being patient with the next steps. The Hermit card, this is your card of taking time and going within. Oh, this is really nice. This bottom row here is more about chilling out and relaxing and figuring out what your next steps are going to be. Yeah, the 4 of Spring. This is about being grateful for what you have, being grateful for the experiences that you have had and what you have moved through, because you've had I think that you've been through the ringer is what I'm sensing here. And good things are coming to you, and now it's your time to just kind of sit back, relax, be contemplative, go within, do a little bit more soul searching, maybe find a mentor, take a break from society, get out in nature, reground yourself, and commit to your own spiritual growth. And that is beautiful with this Hermit card, this regeneration. And maybe you've already started to do this, kind of go within and surround yourself with nature, or tap into your own spiritual growth and connect with people who are on that same spiritual path as you are. And this 4 of Spring, this is about peace. When I look at this card, in as much as there is a happy couple here, it doesn't necessarily represent a new relationship, but it represents a deep gratitude for things in your life that bring you a sense of peace and contentment in your life. Appreciating your kids, appreciating your family, appreciating everything that you've experienced and everything that you've just gone through, because I think that you've gone through or are still going through a lot of things, but those things are coming to an end now. Let me see. Yeah, you've done a lot of work here, a lot of work, and that is a really beautiful thing. That's a really beautiful thing. Taking time for yourself and just being patient with the next steps that unfold. As you clear things out of your life, you actually start to change. And this regeneration card can be hard on us, as I said. And then it's almost like, you were in that storm for so long, and then once that storm settles down and all of that high energy settles down, and you kind of reground yourself and refocus yourself on what it is you want, and creating what it is you want for yourself. It's like we just need to settle back down, and just calm ourselves and just relax and just chill for a while. And over the springtime, I really do feel that as we move into spring here in the Western Hemisphere, that it is your time just to take a season just to relax and unwind. Because I think that the second part of the year has something much bigger in store for you. I think by the summertime, I think that this will be a very magical period of your life. And like I said, even though these strong cards came out in the middle of your reading, you might be experiencing that right now, but I really feel that it is this time of going within and just kind of letting the dust settle, that you are going to emerge come summer and the fall with a lot of really good things coming into your life. A lot of dreams fulfillment and a lot of success and abundance coming into your life. So that's what I have for you for the month of March. If you like this video, please subscribe and please leave a comment. I would love to hear what your experience, what you have been going through, and I hope that you found this video helpful. Leave a comment and like and share and subscribe. And if you would like a personal reading with me, I will leave all of my details on how to reach me below. And until next time, have a great month. Bye.